Okay, now I'm going to show you about paragraphs. I know it might seem really boring to you, but that's okay because there's some neat tricks in here to make your formatting of all your text really easy. Okay, for this I'm going to use some lorem ipsum text. You can put in example text into Google. What it is basically text that looks like as if it was a real paragraph, but guess what? It's not. It's not even real words. A lot of people use it for just to see how a document's going to look like when it's filled in with Word. Okay, so I've got my text box. That's fairly standard. Copy my text in. If I double click on this bottom arrow, it'll automatically makes the text box as big enough to fit all the text in. As you can see, that is massive for my page and we don't want it to be that big. So what do? We see over here how we've got paragraph styles. We're going to create a new paragraph style. What that means is that you can tell it to, you can pre-select if you want all your headings throughout your magazine, for example, to be a certain size, font, etc. And all your paragraphs to all have the same formatting without having to go through and do it individually. So I'm going to call this body. I haven't got anything else saved. Okay, I'm going to use Helvetica. Okay, I'll go through the sans serifs fonts. Don't have, you know how with some of them they have curly G's and whatever, they're a bit harder to, they're easier for bulk text. So use a sans type font for lots of text. If it's not much text, it's much better off using a sans serifs font. Okay, I want this to be, you don't really want to go any lower than 9 in a document. I'm going to go 10 for this. Okay, we can change some of the, for example, I'm going to do that. I'm going to have we can set it up to automatically tab in if you're doing numbering. Hyphenation is another key one that we don't want. You don't want, so if I click OK, without got our preview happening, if I click that again, you'll see how I've got hyphenation here. Looks messy in printed documents, so we're actually going to turn that off. Okay, and for argument's sake, just going to go OK with that. Okay, so you can see my guidelines here. The other good trick is I didn't put in any grid lines. Let's go and create some guides. Let's go preview. Okay, you can start to see them going in. Okay, and that way we can just make sure with our document things all line up. Okay. All right. So when and the other thing I meant to put in is gutter. I shall cancel that. We'll talk about gutter another time. All right, so with your font. Okay, I'm just going to cut that off. For the moment, I can resize it as per usual. Okay, and it's sitting within my guides. If I again double click, it's going to take it back to shrink it into the smallest sort of space as possible. Alright, so if I made another text box, for example, and I pasted the rest of that text back in, so if this was came in, you typed it up and it was in a completely different font, what you can do is then see how it comes up with an error here. This means that it's overridden, and we can just double click or click on that and it changes it to the same as the rest of my body font throughout the throughout the document. So if we wanted to create a new style, we might call it header. Might be based on the body, okay? So going to come up with Helvetica. I might call it, make it a bit bigger, and make it bold and oblique. Okay. Alright, so if I wanted to then type something in, as standard, you guys know that already. Okay, if I wanted that to actually be part of my body, I can change it, same as my body text, header, okay? That way it's just easy to move things around all the time. Okay, I'll bring it in with, so it's sitting on my guides there. Okay, that way I can make sure everything lines up beautifully. I might say my paragraph will want to start here, for example. That way when we print it, okay, with these guidelines that you can see, when you want to see what it looks like printed, press W, okay, gets rid of it. Okay, you can see what it's going to look like. Press W again. Okay, make sure you don't have text box open. If you have a text box open and press W, obviously it's going to type a W. So if you just want to see what it's going to look like, just press W. No commands, no anything, it's just simply letter W.